lost their digits, unfortunately, either through a birth situation or an accident. And therefore, if that is the case, all they need to do is do facial for those people. You don't need to add us to it.
So those who
There's
have
no reason for me to go and queue again, and if you already have my data, use it.
So those with fingerprint biometric data already captured should remain.
Should remain. And if that is the case, all the costs that you are talking about, people going to queue now and go and register again, evaporates, except the 40,000 people who don't have digits.
Challenges.
And if you accept that factor, the cost that is being put in there already reduces. Now we come to the second argument, equipment. If you accept the first one, which is that we don't need to change our data, straight away, you now have to decide, do I need new equipment or not? And we are told that even when you bought the equipment in 2011, you had a guarantee of the equipment for 10 years, which takes us straight to 2021. So on what basis are they telling us now that it's obsolete? People have checked with the manufacturers and they say, no, it's true we have better versions, but even if you have to upgrade what you have, and for the purposes, it won't cost you what they are saying. So you do not need new equipment. You can take your equipment, and you have been upgrading it all these years. That's why the incidence of issues at each election is dropping, now at 5%. So all you need to do is deal with the equipment you have, upgrade it, or come and argue with us that, okay, we still need new equipment. But take out the cost of the people going to register again, because the data always remains the same. And you reduce it. But we do not see the need because they are not obsolete. They are equipment. And you used it in December 2019. You used it in December 2019. How is it obsolete all of a sudden? And it was successful. 5%, issues or failure rates in certain areas. Lower from where you started from. That is the second point. Now let's look at the third.
Timing.
And that one is the most crucial. When we did biometric in 2012, all the procurement process and everything was started in 2011. That's why we are talking of buying this.
And it ended on October 4th, 2011.
Exactly.
6 months before the election.
It was only when we started the actual registering people that we went into 2012. We haven't started yet. You are going to sign a contract, and the person who is bringing you the equipment is telling you that minimum
85
days. 3 months. Minimum 3 months to get you your equipment. That person, when was giving you that 3 months, never factored in coronavirus. And we all know what is happening currently in terms of the world economy. You are not supposed to be congregating people for voting.
For registration.
For registration. Or for any, we are trying to minimize it. Please, why is it that we must rush things? The one area of our lives which is very crucial is elections. Every time the tension goes, and that is why I'm unhappy about the inexperience of the EC. And I keep harping on this.
Exceedingly.
You see, and they have proved to us that they are inexperienced. Anytime they advise, they don't take the advice.
Their director of elections has always been there. Even if the
at what level?
Even if the boss and the deputy are new.
At what level?
One of the other deputies has been there for years.
No, what I'm saying, how many, by the time we get to the election, how many of the commissioners would have been a commissioner, sitting as a commissioner in the EC?
The director of elections, like I'm saying, Mr. Tete.
Look, at the time, are you sure he's not due for retirement?
Oh. Okay, but he's currently there.
Actually, the point Alex is making is
he is not been a commissioner.
They are not even in the mix of affairs.
Yes. He has been in, I'm not saying they haven't worked in the EC, in whatever capacity. I'm asking you, which of them has been a commissioner through one election? Was a commissioner sitting as a commissioner during a general election?
But do we need that?
We only have 2 now. And both of them are due for retirement before the election.
Who and who?
I don't have the names, but there are 2. And both of them are due for retirement.
So your point is that...
So by the time we get, and even with the 2, look at the mess up we've had.
But it's the structure that will conduct the election, not the persons.
You really think so?
Isn't it?
Are these not the captains of the ship?
Yeah, but...
and you are saying that you have captains that have not got experience. and you think that, oh, because the ship will manage itself. No. Umaru, leadership is everything. Leadership is everything. And this is why
but you can't prevent people from retiring.
The point,
I'm not saying that.
I'll come to you, Frank, but you can't prevent people from retiring.
That's the point I'm making, Umaru. When the step was taken to remove those three at the same time, under what we call was unfortunate circumstances, you created an issue which was a problem. And now the EC is biting. Look, this is an EC, young as it was, that has just taken on the issue of doing referendum for new regions. Let's all be frank. It was a shambles. The only reason why nothing blew up was that none of the major political parties were against it. The limited registration exercise, both for the referendum that went on and the one that subsequently didn't go on, was a shambles. People were disenfranchised left, right, and center, especially in our strongholds. We came out to press statement, we made that clear. You have a situation where you are going into an election and we are telling you that you don't have the time. Because even in 2012, when we did it, and we had started a process in 2011, we had to have some people voting in the second and possibly the third day because machines got hot. This couldn't happen. And they had to now go and get new batteries. We had a problem because we had never tested the equipment before.
Yeah.
So it is not like we are not saying these things based on empirical evidence. The AU, or no, the ECOWAS has said that don't tamper with your systems 6 months to an election. It's a dangerous move. 6 months to an election, any issue, don't tamper with it.
Yeah, but yet, we are still several months away.
No. By the time when are you going to test it?
In fact, the suspicions are that they will not even tamper. They may actually use the existing systems to actually deliver the election, which is why an independent audit of the assets they have right now must be done.
Omar,
we've petitioned the auditor.
The timing is... Why are we rushing?
The thing about the experience, though, when Charlotte Osei supervised the elections in 2016, she hadn't been involved
in... What about Kanga? And do you know how many of them had been EC commissioners?
But she's a leader. She was
but they are serving.
But they are interested in the commissioners, not the chairperson.
I'm not looking at the individual person.
Okay. Actually, the point is that the point Alex is making about the proprietary of new machines and their tendency to probably fail you is that because they are new, the first time you use them, you are likely to have this level of error rate. That's why we had 33. It was 47% for the registration. Yes. Then when the elections were held, it was 33%. That is why the same machines refurbished came back and gave you 7.5% in 2016 and 5% in 2019.
Yes.
So there's in fact, in Nigeria, when they first introduced the system, it couldn't even recognize the president at the time. In Afghanistan, they had to fly in German equipment makers, and the election took almost 65 days before they announced the results. Okay. So these are risks.
EC fail on why they need new data. The equipment cost and what they need for new equipment, for me, they fail. We are still within the lifespan of these machines, save wear and tear. And the timing, which for me has got no political issue, let's just look at it straight on the facts. We shouldn't attempt it, period. Let's just go with what we know. Let's finish our election. Then let's have if you need new equipment at that point, you can justify it on real ground.
Now, this is the point. In 2018, the EC appeared before the relevant parliamentary committee and insisted that it needs additional BVRs. But note carefully, it confirmed on pages 8 and 9 of the parliamentary report, special budget committee report, that all 7,500 BVRs in its portfolio have been refurbished, but that it still needs an additional 5,000. In addition, it wanted to procure 5,000 BVDs. You see the point? So they already confirmed. And this is an institutional. It's not about one person.
No.
The decision being made here is now one person or a few people saying, all of this is kaput.
Okay.
The fact, the truth is that since 2011, we've never purchased anything, which is also a lie.
Okay. Let me bring in, I think I should bring in Alexander
Sydney.
before I come to Sydney.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want Sydney to conclude this conversation.
Okay.
Why is your party insistent on having a new register?
Oh, they are ambivalent. They are ambivalent. They are not really...
I don't think it is our party that is insisting. It is the EC in the exercise of its independence of tenure,
constitutional independence,
constitutionally granted. That is saying that it wants, it needs the.
But not the liberty to spend anyhow.
Okay, of course. Don't heckle me.
I'm helping you.
Okay, so I want that to be very, very clear that it is not our party, because I do not want you, or I do not want the impression to be created out there that the EC is an appendage of our political party. Because
your party is part of a group of political parties that are supporting the EC's decision.
Thank you. Good. One, because the EC, okay, exercises its autonomy to deal with its matters the way it has been granted to it by the Constitution. Of course, it doesn't mean that we should also just look on sheepishly for the EC to just spend anyhow, even if it doesn't make sense, right? But at least the autonomy of the EC as constitutionally guaranteed must be respected by all parties. Whatever we do from all political parties is only advisory. I think from the constitutional point, that's what it is. Whatever we do is advisory. So the EC, in its wisdom, has weighed all the issues and come out with a decision that it needs these new BVRs and BVDs and all that. Yes. Let me start with the, in fact, when it comes to the financials and all those kind of things, if I say I have any information about it, I'll be lying.
Okay.
Whether it is overpriced, whether it's underpriced, whether somebody wants to have some cut or somewhere.
Actually, there are claims, not just the financial. There are claims that they've never procured anything since 2011.
Frankly, allow him. To.
I cannot speak to.
Allow him. Yes.
Yeah,
I cannot
because
speak
the
to those
evidence.
because that one I must have hardcore evidence to be able to either substantiate or dispute it.
Okay.
But he made a fundamental point, which is very true, that when, to the extent of saying that the register is bloated, it is true, because even if we finish with the registration today, okay, tomorrow it will be overbloated because some of the people who have been captured in there would have died. In that same vein, stretching his argument, in that same vein, it means that the more it stays, okay, the more inaccuracies we have, because